Good morning, fifth graders. It is time for math. Now, I apologize again, just like yesterday, I don't have the exact page number. So if you could just find in your book, Unit 9, Lesson 11. I'll give you a moment to find that. And as you're finding that, remember our colors, go with me, watch me. Okay, today we're just continuing with what we did yesterday. So our goal or our objective is going to stay the same. Today I will find the volume of irregular figures. Okay, so the nice thing is our irregular figures are actually made up of regular figures. So we can use our same formulas. So remember, our formulas are volume equals length times width times height, and volume equals base times height. Now, the reason we write those again and again and again is so we will have those memorized. Now, I'm not going to spend much time looking at our vocab today, but just quick reminder about our steps is we're going to identify the rectangular prisms that make up the figure. And I actually said yesterday we're going to circle. We're going to use a circle to kind of make it very clear. Then we're going to identify the length, width, and height of each rectangular prism. We saw that yesterday on a few that we had to kind of use clues to find what those digits were. Then we're going to find the volume of each rectangular prism, and that's where our formula is going to come in. And we're going to probably be using length times width times height on all of them. And we're going to add our volumes and then make sure that we record our volume in terms of cubic units. So it might be feet cubed, could be inches cubed, or you could actually write out the cubic part. You could say cubic meters. But somehow we have to make it clear that we know that it's cubed. Okay, so what does this look like? I'm going to put my green pen down and grab my red pen. So my first problem says, find the total volume of the figure in centimeters. So to me it looks pretty much like it's been divided right here. So I'm going to say those are my two. I have one on top and one resting on a small skinny one. Okay, so that was step one. Step two is to make sure I have my measurements. So here I see length, width, and height. Here I see length, width, but the height on this one, I see a 9 for this whole thing, but I don't see how much just this one is. Well, let's think about this. If this is 4, isn't that 4, and isn't that part 4? So if that's 4, and this whole thing's 9, doesn't that one have to be 5? So you have to use some clues here. So now that I have my measurements for all of them, I can find the volume. So we could do the top one first. My length was 4, my width is 3, and my height is 4. So I'm getting 12 times 4 is 48. And let's do our bottom one. Volume equals length times width times height. My length is 2, my width is 3, and my height we found out was 5. So I'm getting 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, so that was step 3. Step 4 is let's add those together. So 48 plus 30 is 78, and then step 5 is add my measurement. So my measurement is centimeters cubed. Oh, not squared, cubed. And there we go. Okay, let's see one more. Okay, this one we kind of have to say how is it divided. Some people might think it's the whole bottom layer with this on top. I kind of see one on the left and then one on the right. So that's how I'm going to choose to do it. Now, I can count all my measurements, so I can skip step 2. So let's see, step 3 is solve. So I'll do this one first. My length is 2, my width is 1, 2, 3, 4, and my height is 1, 2, 3. So I'm getting 24 for that one. And for the next one, I'm getting, let's see, my formula, length times width times height. My length is 2. My width is 1, 2, 3, 4. And my height is only 1 tall. So I am getting 8. Okay, so what do we have? Our next step is we add them. And I'm getting 32. 32 what? Well, it tells me it's inches. So 32 inches cubed. Okay, let's do some together. So pick up your pencil and turn the page. This is the page you should be looking for. Okay? All right, step 1 is let's decide how it's going to look like. This one's kind of different because we have one here and one here, or we have this whole one with one on top. I kind of think on this one I see it like this. I see a top and a bottom. You might have seen it different, but remember we're doing this one together. Okay, and on this one I can count my measurements, so I don't need to find them right now. So let's do the top first. Length is 2, width is 4, and height is 1. So I am getting 8. Okay, let's do our next one. Our length is 4, our width is 4, and our height is 2. So I'm getting 16 times 2, which is 32. Okay, our fourth step is we're going to add them. So let's find some room to do that. 32 plus 8, and I am getting 40. And our final step is measurement cubed. So this is meters. Meters could be abbreviated with just an M. So I'm getting meters cubed. Okay, let's move on to this next one. This next one's a little bit different because notice there's really no lines. There's no lines saying it's cut here. Maybe something there, I don't know. It's a little bit hard to tell. So you kind of have to decide how do you want to break this up. I personally would probably break it right here. So I'm going to cut it there. So we have a top and a bottom. Okay, let's check them. So this one I see length. I see height. I don't really see width. So I think what they're trying to tell me is if this is 5, this one also is 5. Okay, let's check this. I see length, width, but I don't see height. I need to know how tall this is, or this, or that. Okay, what I do see is the bottom one is 8, and both of them are 12. So if the bottom box is 8, but both of them are 12, doesn't that mean this one has to be 4 since that one's 8? So now we have our measurements. Okay, ready? So volume equals length times width times height. I might do the top one first. My length is 14, my width is 5, and my height is 4. Okay, I probably would multiply this by saying 10 times 5 is 50, and 4 times 5 is 20, which means 14 times 5 is 70. If you couldn't do that, you could simply do some side work. Okay, and I would multiply this by saying 7 times 4 is 28, and we could add our 0 because 0 times 4. Or 70 times 4 would be 280. Sorry if that seemed confusing. Okay, let's do our bottom figure. Length times width times height. My length is 10, my width is 5, and my height is 8. So 10 times 5 is 50. 50 times 8, 5 times 8 is 40, and then add my 0, so I'm getting 400. Okay, I'm going to need to find some space to work. So I have 400 plus 280 equals 680, and my measurement is feet cubed. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you have quite a few pages to work on today. Okay, so you have this page, and then you have this page and this page. Okay, give it your best, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.